And welcome into another episode of Beyond the Forecast. I think I said it last week, Kevin. I've lost track of where we're at. So
episode number something.
If you've been with us since episode 1, thanks for staying with us. If you're new, thanks for joining.
Welcome.
I probably look like I got a lot of makeup on my face today. It was picture day, so there will be new pictures coming. I don't know when. I was going to say, they got to go through their process of, which ones look best and all that stuff. So, yeah, I had to make sure I looked good. Those bright lights really wash you out a bit. So
Sorry,
I'm
I'm just making sure my tie looks good, Rob.
I need some depth.
Taking more pictures.
Right. So what have you been up to? We have actually a little bit of time, so we can actually talk a little about that this week.
What have I been up to? I mean,
I know it's hard to remember, right?
I took Monday off. I had a friend visit he's from Penn State, but he was visiting other people in Boston. Okay. I couldn't make it to Boston, but then he stopped by Albany on the way home. And it was a lot of fun. I hadn't seen him in like 6 months, and we were just having fun. I beat him in darts. He beat me in cornhole, and then we golfed on Monday. It was one of my better rounds, but I still got work to do.
Monday was a good day. Right? Monday was beautiful. Yes, that's right. Monday was fantastic.
Spectacular.
That's right. I said earlier, scrumptious.
Yeah, did you?
And I didn't say it on TV, but I said it when we were forecasting, and Alyssa and Allison just started laughing.
Yeah, they probably thought
what? Everybody else uses these weird words. I can
probably thought you were weird.
Scrumptious, like it was scrumptiously delightful.
That's crazy. you guys think some of what I put in the 7-day text.
Well, and that's why I said. That's why I'm like, Kevin can say this, but I can't say scrumptious. Anyways.
What'd you do? What have you been up to?
I was up at the lake again on Saturday. Thankfully, we did not have any severe weather. Yeah. There were a couple of storms, so we did have to go back inside for a little bit, but we had a couple hours out on the water.
Good.
So it was good. That night, though, I had some issues with my breathing with the smoke. It was smoky all day again.
I am so happy that has been flushed out for now.
I looked at Eric and I go, I think that's what happened. Like being outside all day was not a good idea, and it was not a good idea.
So you just ignored me.
So,
You just ignored what I said Saturday morning, I see.
Oh, no, I knew it was going to happen. Listen, I was forecasting it all week. What are you talking about? All right, let's talk about what we're going to talk about this week, because we do have a little bit to get through.
Yeah.
There has been recent rounds of severe weather, or lack thereof locally.
Yeah.
We'll discuss. We'll also discuss why we'll always talk about a severe weather risk. Whether we get the severe weather or not, why it's important to us that we at least try to explain why we've got that risk and why the potential is there for severe weather. We'll have a quick recap of July so far and a very brief look towards August. I think we'll do a deeper dive into that for next week. Unless something else happens. That kind of seems to be how this show's been going lately, where we have an idea and then something comes up and we kind of shift our focus.
I said, we've got stuff on the back burner for when the weather is super duper quiet, which, today's stunning. Tomorrow's stunning. The weekend looks pretty good.
And, I should have mentioned, too, you might have just seen us on Upstate Living.
Yes.
I wanted to talk about that. So we were on there with Billy Floyd. We were kind of talking a little bit about this show, talking a little bit about
how we got into
what our favorite weather is, kind of how we got involved in weather, things like that. So hopefully you enjoyed the episode. And if you didn't, hopefully you're watching it again tonight at 7 o'clock right here on WTEN+. So, and if you're watching this at 8 p.m., you missed it. Sorry. I don't know what else to say. All right. So this is quite remarkable. So this is for the tornado warnings that were issued Saturday and Tuesday. So we had kind of two distinct rounds. You could see, obviously, the, what would you call that? The Midwest?
Yeah.
Midwest, there was a little area. And then you make your way down towards Kentucky, the Ohio Valley, Pennsylvania, New York. We've got those clusters there.
I was going to say, just a heads up that New York is actually, like the text New York is blocking several.
Yes, for Jersey, yes. We're going to zoom in here because this is going to give us a closer view locally.
Wow.
I can't count there because you obviously see kind of that local maximum in what do you want to call that? The southwestern Catskills.
Southern tier. Does that start in Binghamton?
Not quite sure exactly where it's considered southern tier, but yeah, you get the idea. East of Binghamton. Multiple tornado warnings there.
Yeah.
Just on Tuesday alone.
What the heck happened in Sullivan County?
I know. And there was the confirmed tornado on the ground in northeastern Pennsylvania.
Yep.
There was a purple warning on Tuesday. That purple flashing box, when you see that, that means that it's been observed on the ground. You don't get that too often here in the Northeast.
No.
So when you see that purple box, it does mean to take it seriously. Brief mention, there were 2 tornado warnings out by where I'm from, just southwest and then just southeast. So it kind of like skipped over where my family was, so I didn't have to worry about them. But Kevin, you had something on Tuesday.
Yeah, so, we were anticipating Tuesday, always were, being much more active in PA, New Jersey, points south and west. And we showed you those Kentucky warnings, Ohio Valley warnings. They were at a level 3. We were just like Saturday on like the northeast periphery where there was some concerns, but if we were able to bust out in the sun, we would have the ingredients.
And we did for a little while. And I think that's why part of the area on Tuesday was put under that tornado watch. I just want to stress too, I think sometimes folks think that we issue these watches and warnings. We do not issue them.
No.
These are from the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center. They kind of collaborate for the watches, and then the warnings are issued by the local offices. So we are just broadcasting what they are already
bringing you the
putting
info
out there. Exactly.
But yeah, you mentioned...
Continue, yes.
Yeah, no, you're fine. I mean, it was, we had part of the region under a 5%, part of the region under a 2% tornado risk, and 2% tornado risk is basically just like, probably not, but we just can't like fully rule it out. And, that happens a lot around here. And I know it kind of gets old seeing the 2 and the 5%, but northern New Jersey, my home where I grew up, was under a 5%, just like us. And they had 3 different tornado warnings issued for my county, 2 different circulations. So one of them got extended from its origin, which... Again, the Weather Service in Mount Holly, as of recording this, Mount Holly is basically the Philadelphia office. Yes, they cover my county in North Jersey. It's very odd. Anyways,
yeah, you'd think it'd be New York City.
Yeah, no, it's. I guess the radar doesn't do as well from Long Island.
Okay.
Big city in the way, Anyway, so the Philly office was going to do some surveys. I have no doubt they're going to confirm something. Yeah. Now, I don't think, because it started in western Morris County, which is basically that landlocked county in North Jersey, like surrounded by other New Jersey counties. Obviously, every other county seems like it's touching a border of a different state, kind of what I mean by that.
Okay.
So Morris County, I don't think it went from west to east, but I think it probably touchdown, lifted,
maybe skipped a little bit,
touchdown again. And that's kind of what I was seeing while this was all transpiring. And the reason we're talking about this is because 5% tornado risk doesn't sound like much. And yet yesterday afternoon for about 45 minutes to an hour, I was calling as many people as I could because what we were looking at our radar was frankly scary. And the circulation was scary. We saw video, we saw imagery, although imagery is tough these days. But we saw, the videos are pretty convincing. It lines up with the circulation. It was pretty tight on radar. And, the way I was following the one as it went right through where I grew up, a lot of my friends from high school and just growing up are still there. A lot of my family's still there, still working there. And then another one developed, and I'm like, I got family here too.
Yep.
I got friends here too. So, again, for an hour, I was so stressed because... this 5% tornado risk, which sounds so low. Well, the tornado's right there.
It's low for maybe in the middle of the country.
Yeah.
But 5% in the Northeast, anything over 5% and higher, really.
Yeah.
I consider that to be a more moderate risk for a tornado here.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't mean what you think. It's a 5% chance that any point within that outlook, within 25 miles of that point, that there's going to be a tornado. So, in theory, yes, 5% is low, but when you put it in those terms, it's not that low.
It was such a large area under that 5%. We were kind of on the northern periphery, and fortunately, we didn't see any of that here. It kind of it wasn't far away.
No, and I'm surprised around Kingston, Poughkeepsie last evening, Tuesday evening, that they did not issue tornado warnings.
I was looking at that.
There was some, but again, it's far from the radar, so it's so tough to know.
Yeah.
Is it actually reaching the ground, or is it just rotation that's up aloft?
And those folks at the Weather Service have to go through very intensive radar training.
Yes.
And they can kind of catch certain things that, honestly, Rob, I think there's certain things that like we see, and they'll see it differently. They won't issue a warning, and then there ends up being no tornadoes. So I'm just saying they go through like a rigorous program
And
to
I
get
agree
certified.
but I will also say sometimes too, because they did go severe down there,
Yeah.
and I do think it said tornado possible.
Oh, definitely.
But it is one of those things where it's like, we can look at the radar and say, that does not look good.
Yes.
We just can't issue a warning. Yes, can we cut into your TV and say, hey, there's no warning on this yet, but this does not look good? Absolutely. And I would say probably around 9 times out of 10, a warning will follow pretty quickly once we start noticing something.
Yeah.
But there are those instances where, like you just said, they have to go through specific criteria and all that stuff to be able to issue that warning.
Because they can't just issue a tornado warning for every little thing that twists.
Yep.
Otherwise, we'd have a lot.
It's the boy who cried wolf.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, there is some broad rotation. I wouldn't say a tornado warning, but I would say, you know what? Take this seriously because there could be a tornado.
Still a good amount of wind, which speaking of, not only was there tornadoes, there was also quite a few severe thunderstorm warnings. I mean, you're always going to see more severe thunderstorm warnings than tornado warnings because that warns for straight line winds, which is far more common and frankly impacts more people, and larger hail.
Yep.
If it's above or if it's at an inch in diameter or higher, you're going to get a severe thunderstorm warning because that's when it starts to possibly
cause some damage.
things.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a severe thunderstorm warning for Dippin' Dots.
Yeah.
Okay? That's kind of what we get a lot around here.
This is insane, though.
Oh,
I mean, the
so many.
amount of severe thunderstorm. Again, this is Saturday and Tuesday, but they avoided the capital region in north and east like the plague.
Oh my gosh, they were allergic
Literally.
to us. But I mean,
and both days it was never a slam dunk. I do want to mention that. Were the models more optimistic or robust on the severe threat for Saturday? Yes.
So Saturday was very interesting because I got in and I saw every model bring in a line for the whole region, but I was like, okay, I'm concerned though. We have wildfire smoke.
We had the smoke and we clouded up quick and
we had all that rain.
We had all the rain in the morning.
I'm like,
and the models did not have that.
No model has it being this widespread. I'm like, that's not going to be good for severe storms. All morning I talked about it because I'm like, I don't want to go against what every model has, but at the same time, I'm like, it doesn't really make sense.
And that's part of our job to kind of disseminate and say, the severe threat does exist, but there are some of these things that, maybe the severe threat will not materialize. And I think this week in particular, Kevin, a lot of folks have been on our case on social media about it. You got another one wrong. You got another one wrong.
Tuesday wasn't really expected to be crazy though.
Well, I haven't seen any from Tuesday. I'm more so about Saturday. Yeah. Oh, another one that you guys are going to get wrong and this and that. We will always tell you when there is a severe weather risk. A risk does not mean that every single person is going to see severe weather. As you can see, obviously locally, it didn't really materialize both of those days. But those days you need to be thankful for it because look at where it did materialize. Widespread severe weather. That's why we will always alert. We're not going to scare you. We're not here to scare you. We're just here to have you prepare for what could happen. That's what a forecast is. That's what a forecast is.
What do we got here?
So this is there was actually a confirmed tornado from Saturday. And those two orange circles, that's where, I can't zoom in on this because we're going to zoom right into the tornado track. That is where the National Weather Service in Binghamton is actually sending survey crews out today, Wednesday, July 22nd, to see if it was microburst or tornadic activity. So as we zoom in, we can see the actual track of that tornado. Now, I don't know any of these towns. Sanford, New York, to, it looks like Hancock. It was on the ground for almost 16 miles, Kevin.
That's crazy for around here.
Right? Yeah. That's a long track tornado for here. It was weak. It was relatively weak. I think the strongest winds were EF1, so nothing too crazy. But still, it's scary. It crossed right over this highway, Route 86 here.
Southern Tier Expressway.
1, 2, 3, 4 times. So if you're driving along the highway and all of a sudden you see a tornado.
Someone might have saw it twice.
Exactly. Yeah, could you imagine? They're driving from Deposit to
following them.
Hale Eddy.
Yeah. I mean, what's that, east of Binghamton?
Yep.
So if we're going back towards Poughkeepsie or something, I would think.
Crazy. So that now brings our tornado count
maybe
across the state of New York. I know sometimes it's a little slow. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 across the state of New York. As of Wednesday's recording. Remember, they're still surveying 2 areas, so we could be adding to this total. We average about 10 a year across the state. So things look relatively quiet going forward for now. Things can change. There's always tropical remnants. There's always big
tropical remnants. Wow.
Big
They love to spin.
Cold fronts, as we get closer to fall and things like that. So we could up, but I don't think the record of 33 from 2024 is in jeopardy this year. Unless something crazy happens. It's just a little bit more of an active year. Yeah. All right, with that, Kevin, I think this is going to take us to our first break. When we come back, we're going to talk about July so far. You put the data together for that, so we'll talk about that.
3 weeks in as of yesterday.
And then we'll do a quick update on August. We're not going to do a deep dive. We'll do that next week when I'll tell you how much daylight we're going to be losing.
Oh.
I know.
It hurts. Folks.
I know. I wish we had the sound effects. All right, don't go away.
I'll do it.
All right, there's the sound effect.
Send it to break. Boo.
We'll be right back. And welcome back to Beyond the Forecast. Just trying to get my graphics situated here,
It's good
Kevin.
now. I see them.
So July, tell us a little bit about where we've been so far for temperature-wise, because it's been a little all over, right?
The way the month started, they're thinking, and the outlook was for it to be near or cooler than average.
Yep.
But with the way the month started, it was almost hard to believe because we had low temperatures, generally above 70.
And we even said that when we did the outlook for July. We're like, they must be thinking that it's going to be cool the second half of the month.
Yeah. So, I mean, look at the first 3 days in particular, low to mid 90s. Yep. I mean, Albany topped at 96. And remember, it was during those 3 days, especially the Wednesday and Thursday, the first and the second, where the dew point was like 78, 77. And, that's a big part of why it was so oppressive is because when you're 96 with a 77-degree dew point, the heat index is like 108.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw in Albany. So
in some areas, we're even higher than that, like 110, 115. So
it was remarkable.
Brutal.
You do not see that every summer. Now, you see those temperatures most summers, not every, but most summers. And we're not saying that that's what makes it stand out. It was the unrelenting humidity on those 2 days in particular. I mean, we cooled off a little bit by the 6th and the 7th. And then, I mean, generally, we haven't really had
we're kind of bouncing up and down.
Yeah, we haven't had a sustained warm-up since. What we have had is another day that hit 94.
Yep. And we were close to 90 on a few days here.
Yeah. But another day that hit 94 was Tuesday the 14th. What is different about that compared to the first is that the heat index was like 96. Because the dew point was 67 or 68,
which still makes it feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
Don't get us wrong, but it's not as
it's a whole different ball
unsafe.
Yeah,
as what it was. That Wednesday and Thursday in the beginning of the month.
Yeah, and that's why the Weather Service was only going heat advisory for that day versus in the beginning of the month they were going extreme heat watch in morning, which is formerly the excessive heat watch in morning. And again, that does not get issued every summer around here. Now, since we hit 94 last Tuesday, it has been kind of cool.
Yeah.
I mean, we were barely above average Wednesday and Thursday, the 15th and 16th, and then, I mean, it's been pretty nice.
It's just been cool. But I will say Saturday surprised me. Again,
74.
Thought there was going to be more sunshine. We were off by 10 degrees. We're not going to, that was a bad forecast day.
What?
Yeah.
I don't even remember.
Friday we were forecasting 84 degrees for Saturday.
Oh, that's right. That was a smoky day.
It was smoky and all that widespread rain in the morning. So that just threw us.
I'm like, okay.
That was Allison and I were looking at it earlier this week. I was like, oof, that was a bad one.
It's so funny you say that because I got in that morning and I kept the 84 that was in there. But I look at the short range models, they're supposed to dominate the short range, and I see 87 and 89. I'm like,
and that's why we held the low to mid 80s because
I'm like, that seems high, but I'm like it's day of and then that's why everything kind of went south compared to the forecast.
Well, the rain never really let up in Albany, right? I mean, that was a very wet day. It was also a little humid that day. little humid.
Smoky,
But,
it's just nasty.
it's just, and then today, Wednesday that we're recording this, I don't think we're getting out of the 70s.
I don't know. The temps being weird.
I don't think we're getting out of the 70s Thursday. We might start to warm things up again for late this week and into the weekend. But, this is a cool stretch. Cool,
Definitely.
Compared to average.
When you factor
And then you factor in the overnight lows.
Yeah, 1.2 degrees above so far.
Yeah.
It's skewed by the first 3 days for sure. Now, what's going to drag this down is that we've got, this morning, when you're watching this, cool.
Yeah.
Friday morning's probably the coolest, in my opinion. That high's right
Low
over
to mid
us.
50s. It's just... Outlying
great.
areas could start in the 40s.
Oh, yeah, they will.
They will. So
They probably did
we
this
did it Monday.
Yeah.
We did it Monday. Rainfall, Kevin, where do we stack up? Are we in a drought? People are asking.
No. I would like to see more rain.
Yeah.
But we do not have the problems that they have
But
had.
well, I will mention though, because I did look at this yesterday. The departure for the month, we're about a half an inch below. We are actually over 2 inches below for the year or something. So we are running a deficit.
Yeah.
We could use some more rain to make up.
It would not hurt.
But the classification of drought conditions are not met.
It's a bigger problem. Jersey,
Yep.
Lower Hudson, Long Island.
Yep.
Down
Now
to
I did
Philly.
see
now, yeah.
on the drought monitor website, drought removal is likely.
Yep.
For southern New England, so the areas that have been dealing with drought.
Well, that's also because they've gotten just.
Well,
I know.
Parts
of Jersey have
I know.
had 6 days of flash flood warnings in the past 2 weeks. That is one way to break a drought quickly.
Well, but also a lot of times though, when you have those heavy rain events,
it doesn't
a lot of
always
it is
go.
just runoff. It does not go into the water table. So when folks are like, we just had all this rain, how are we
Right.
still in drought? Because it was all runoff.
I agree.
And
It's just that when it's day after day of
I agree. And it will
it's,
eventually start to soak in
Yeah.
and things like that. So that helps. But if you're only having 1 or 2 heavy rain events, say you got 6 inches of rain, that's great. But 5.5 of it ran off, and only that half an inch was actually absorbed. Probably exaggerated, but that's that's the example I got. So
what have we had so far this month? A lot of times in July it comes in a burst.
Yep.
There's a lot of dry time in July.
It's funny though. Looking at this, I don't really see any big. You got a couple days over a half an inch, but it's not like
it was that Monday into Tuesday, the 6th into the 7th, where we had that storm that dropped 8 inches of rain in Lower Hudson Valley.
I think you're right.
Otisville.
Yep.
And up here we got 2/3 of an inch, 0.65. So the south to north drop off. Was
Feast or
incredible.
famine in the summertime. It always is, especially if it's thunderstorms.
Yeah. That was a crazy.
I'm just
setup.
surprised there's been no day that's been closer to an inch.
Yeah,
with the thunderstorms we have had,
Maybe it happens early next week. It's a possibility. It just
know.
has to go over the
At
rain
the
gauge
airport,
and all.
exactly. All right, looking ahead to August, this would be history making.
Come on.
All right, let's tone it down a little bit. But the last 2 or 3 years in August, we've been below average.
This will be my 4th August here because actually tomorrow's my 1 year. When you're seeing this tomorrow, Friday is my 3-year anniversary. 1 year.
Your 1 year.
It'll be my 3 years at News 10 on Friday. So this is going to be my 4th August. All 3 so far have been
below average, right?
but also very nice.
Yes.
I know when I first got here, it was right after those floods in Vermont.
Yep.
That was a big thing.
They
So-
had back-to-back years like that, though. So they were... But, you know what? This is a slight lean towards above average. To me, this is not a slam dunk.
No.
Yes, it has a more warmer than average look to it, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be super hot. It doesn't mean that it's going to be 5 degrees above average, so maybe it's a degree above, and then you got that little pocket of below average in the northern tier of the country. So definitely bigger signals for warmer in the southeast. Put it that way.
Absolutely. Wow.
Rainfall, I know a lot of folks are not going to like this. Ignore that average precip because that is not correct. When I was doing this, that did not come down. So let me...
that's funny.
Yeah, so... August actually
Probably 3.9.
it's got to be close to that. I just want to make sure that I have the correct number.
3.93 for some reason stands out in my head. Can you imagine if that's
Are
right?
you making that up?
Probably.
3.76.
I can't believe there's such
So-
I'm honestly surprised there's such a difference between July and August. Now,
Yep.
there's the same amount of days.
July
There's
is
still
just
thunderstorms.
historically the wettest month. I don't know if it's tropical remnants.
But that
I don't
would be
know.
more common in August.
I know.
That's what I don't.
Tropical remnants, yes.
I mean, listen, I'm like arguing long-term data. Like, there's no arguing this. It's just like it's a wetter month. But I'm a little surprised. That's all. A little surprised because there's just there's a little bit less humidity. There's a little bit less daylight, and I guess that makes like 3/4 of an
Maybe
inch
that,
difference.
yeah, maybe that is. Obviously, you see below average in the southeast, above average out west,
Which
but
is
again, a
not-
slight lean.
That's not a surprise given the warmer. looks.
Yes.
'Cause
Yeah,
usually,
there must be a big, there must be a southeast ridge or something that they're expecting.
I want a Rex block.
Below average through the Great Lakes. I know a lot of folks locally are not going to like that, based on some of the comments we see on Facebook. But some people are doing dances in the street when it rains, Kevin.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what they say in the comments. They're doing little jigs.
I get it.
But it doesn't look likely the way it looks right now. So
But it will,
we'll see.
There's
Doesn't mean that it's
probably-
going to be bone dry.
Yeah,
So
there's also the chance that it varies dramatically from town to town, given that
especially if it's thunderstorm.
convective,
Yeah,
yeah.
if it's thunderstorm, or again, they might be thinking that there's not going to be a lot. So we'll see. All right, I think that's going to take us to another quick break, Kevin. Don't go away. And welcome back into Beyond the Forecast. Some closing thoughts here, Kevin. Next week, we're going to have a deeper dive into what to expect in August, averages, last year, last couple of years, and a depressing stat, how much daylight will be lost, and how our average temperatures will be dropping through the month. I don't like it.
It's slow at first.
I know.
The daylight's worse.
I know. I don't like it, but we're going to do a deep dive into it. And we're going to
Yes.
tell you everything you probably never knew you wanted to know about August.
Believe it or not, the final month of meteorological summer.
It's crazy.
Wow.
It's crazy. And don't forget, if you ever have a question, comment, anything you want us to explain, any weather phenomena, you can always email myself or Kevin. Our email addresses are right there on the screen. I'll put that up full so that you guys can have a full look at that. And maybe you'll be featured on a future episode of Beyond the Forecast. We love answering questions. We did one last week with tornadoes, how they're formed, and microbursts. So hopefully you will reach out if you have any questions. Until then, hopefully you all have a great weekend. It's looking fantastic right now. And we'll see you back here next week on Beyond the Forecast.